I cut the check, I cut the check, I cut the check. Tell my niggas we up next, so we up next. She shot a text, she shot a text, she shot a text. Kill the I might put the different day, put a nigga on that same shit. I've been ballin' with my niggas, Kevin Cambridge. Oh, you drippy, but you better tuck your chain quick.
Alright guys, we back with another episode of Between the Lines. Today we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm just getting straight into it. So last week we seen that Patrick Mahomes got signed to a 10-year, $500 million contract. Now, I've only heard of those numbers when it comes to baseball contracts. Like they'll get paid $300 million, $400 million. He's getting paid for 10 years for $500 million. That's $500 million. So that when he got that automatically made him the most paid athlete of all time. So he's set. He's good. So it was crazy to me. I was at work and sometimes we'd be going on break, so I just look at my phone. So I was on break and I seen it. I was like, yo, you see this? 10 years, $500 million? Like, yo. And I asked the dude, I was like, have you ever seen this? He was like, nah, I never seen it before. Because I didn't, like, bro, 10 years in football, I'd never seen that long of a contract. Normally it's like 4, 5, 3, stuff like that. I've never seen it get to double digits. So I was confused, but I was like, I understand it. It's Patrick Mahomes. Like, when it all comes down, when his career is over, depending on what he does and how high he's been going, he might be the best football player of all time. So I understand he's 23. I understand signing him for 10 years because his trajectory, the way he keeps going up and going up, like that money is nothing because he deserved it. He deserved it, and it was cool to see. It was like really cool to see because out of all the quarterbacks in the league, all the young quarterbacks, like I feel like he's the only one that deserves that amount of money. And like when I seen it, I was like, nah, that's too much. But then I think about it, like it's Patrick Mahomes, probably the best arm we've ever seen, best quarterback we've ever seen, and he's only been in the league for 4 years. It's about to be his 4th year. Like look at his stats. He sat his whole first year. He sat behind Alex Smith. He sat behind Alex Smith, and then next year he comes out and he throws 50 touchdowns, and he's one drive away to going to the Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for, I think it was an onside call on the defense, they would have went to the Super Bowl. And the next year they go to the Super Bowl and they win. And in the I think it's called the conference finals or something like that. The AFC conference finals, they were losing 24-0. 24-0 in the first half, and he came back and won. The Texans didn't score no more. I think the ending score was like 42-24. So he's an amazing player. Like people say this because of the talent he has beside him, but like, bro, you can't doubt the talent that he has himself. He literally in game threw a no look cross the body pass on a 4th and what? Like a 4th and I think it was against the Ravens. It was a 4th and 24. Cross the body. Wasn't even looking, just boom. And then it was a part when he was playing the Broncos, running to the sideline, and you had to get the first down. He threw it with his left hand. He's right-handed. And he probably has the best arm we've ever seen. He can throw anything. Like, come on, man. He deserves that contract. It's like, he was supposed to play baseball. Like, he got drafted to play baseball. But it doesn't matter because now he's in the NFL getting baseball money. So, like, it's good for him. And $450 guaranteed because, like, I don't know if you guys know, but, like, all NFL contracts are not guaranteed. Like, Derrick Henry just got a contract for $50 million, and only 25 of it is guaranteed. So that's like crazy that he got half of his. He's only getting half of his guaranteed, and I think guaranteed means like even if you get hurt, you're still getting $25 million. You just want to get the full 50. So if Patrick Mahomes get hurt, he's gonna get $450. So it's just good for him. It's good for him. Great for that team. They're smart. They're really smart for locking him up because we're starting to see like other teams like the Texans, the Cowboys, like they got great Super Bowl talent quarterbacks, but they don't want to pay them, and they don't want to put the right talent beside them. Like we see with Deshaun Watson, they trade one of the best wide receivers in the league for a pack of chips. Like, come on, man, why would you trade him for Derrick Johnson? Like Derrick Johnson, not no bad player at all, but it's DeAndre Hopkins. He's one top 5 wide receiver and probably top 10 player in people's eyes. So that was a dumb trade, and he even showed concern like he might not want to be there. And then with the Cowboys not wanting to pay Dak Prescott, and I get it, Dak Prescott hasn't really done nothing since his first year. But like if you look at Dak Prescott, you know he has Super Bowl talent. And I'm not saying he deserves $500 million, but at least get to do 250 or 300. Like he deserves that. He deserves $30 million a year. Not like Patrick Mahomes was getting paid $45 million a year, but he's getting paid. He should get paid $30 million a year. Dak Prescott showed me enough that he can bring a team to a championship, but it's hard to do that on the Cowboys. So if he leaves, I would be more happy for him because the Cowboys is not ran by their head coach. They're ran by Jerry Jones. So Jerry Jones just always has that effect over these head coaches, and it just gets them scared. And that's why, like, the Cowboys probably have one of the most talented teams from top to bottom, and they will finish 8-8 and then go to the playoffs. And you can't really look at Dak Prescott because he showed up. He had an MVP season. So for them not to make the playoffs, like you could say that's the coach's fault, but I don't care. It's not the coach's fault. It's Jerry Jones. He sucks. He's a good GM, but he doesn't let his head coach run the team, and it sucks. It sucks for the team because they have all the talent. And like last year was basically their year to win because they had so much players that were off contract. Like their best corner left this season. He went to the Miami Dolphins. So like last year they needed to win because everybody was under contract. They had the perfect team to win. But you could say it was Jason Garrett's fault, but to me it wasn't. It's Jerry Jones' fault. And you can ask any Cowboys fan, they'll say like Jerry Jones is not the best GM. Yes, he has, I think, the second amount of money. I think the dude from Carolina, he has the most money as a GM. But Jerry Jones, he's just, yeah, he has a lot of money. Yeah, he can get you the free agents you need, but like, just that he has higher power over the coaches, and like, it's so easy to blame the coaches for them not being successful. But I think it's Jerry Jones' fault. Like he just his contribution to the team, it makes them look really bad. But yeah, I'm happy for why is my phone keep going? I'm sorry. I'm happy for Patrick Mahomes for getting that money. He really deserved it. And I hope other quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, I think Carson Wentz got his money, but I hope young quarterbacks get their money too. I don't think any of them deserve that amount of money. Now Lamar Jackson might, but he came off of a great season. But we still got to see more. Deshaun Watson, he's like I see him like on the same level as Dak. Like they both deserve $30 million. Lamar is like the only one I see coming up that can get Dak Prescott type money. I mean not Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes type money. Like he can get $45 million, especially for the Ravens. They're known for paying quarterbacks. Paid Joe Flacco I think $25, and he got $120 million guaranteed. So yeah, they're known for doing that. So I can see him getting a lot of money. But I don't know. I'm just happy for Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs look like they're about to get a lot of championships because they just signed one of the best defensive linemen that they had already. They just signed him, and like they signed him to $85 million. He getting $60 million guaranteed. So like, where are they getting all this money from? They just signed Tyreek Hill, but now they got to sign Travis Kelce, Tyrann Matthew. So they have like some of the best players at their position. So like they're gonna want the best money. So somebody's gonna have to leave. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. But with this Super Bowl talent quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks we ever seen, like they can be champions for I don't know how long. They just won one, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to back or a three-peat because like they have it. They have everything. The best coach, one of the best coaches, the best quarterback. Like they don't lack nothing. Defense, one of the best. Offense, probably one of the best ever. And I don't know. We'll see. But other news in the NFL, the Redskins are changing their name, and if you don't know, Redskins is like a term for Indians, and like Indians found it as like a racial slur. Like black people find the N-word as a racial slur. I think the Indians found it as a racial slur, and it was like always they always got hate from like Indians. So like now they're gonna change their name, but like my whole perspective of it is you gotta change a lot of teams' names. You gotta change teams all over. The Blackhawks in the NHL and NHL for hockey. Cleveland Indians in baseball. The Chiefs, that's Indian. Cowboys and Indians. You probably got to change that. It's not much I can think off my head, but like it's a lot more teams you got to change, and you can't. It would be weird if you can just change that And it's not the Redskins changing their name. The NFL is making them change their name. So like, it's gonna be cool if we see like, all right, the NHL be like, all right, Blackhawks, I gotta change your name because like, and the Indians, well, I'm sorry, the Native Americans see it as a racial slur. So it would be understanding if they was to tell other teams to change their name in other sports like in baseball or in hockey. So that's really how I feel about it. I feel like if you want to change that name, you got to change every name that has to do with that slur. That it has to be a part of that slur that the Native Americans find disrespectful or something like that. But other than that, nothing's really been going on in sports. NBA players finally got to the Orlando bubble. We're seeing a lot of people vlog, so that's cool. They got like water parks. Food looks nasty, but then some people getting good food. I just seen Damian Lillard. He had like a superstar suite. So like I'm guessing like the superstars get the best rooms, and like other players like you seen like I think it was Terrence Ross. He had a roach in his room. So I don't know. It looks bad over there, but like we're seeing them starting to practice basketball coming back in 2 weeks. So I'm happy about that. I think they start scrimmaging next week. So like we're really close. We're really close, and it's just cool to see like some players coming back from hurting. Like you would think they would have been out for the year. Like Jonathan Isaac, he was supposed to be out for the year. Kelly Oubre, they were supposed to be out for the year, but I've been hearing that they're going to come back. Victor Oladipo said last week that he's not playing no more, but now this week he said like at practice like he's going crazy, like he keeps getting better and better, so he might play. So that might make the Pacers like look different and look crazy, but I don't know. That I just can't wait for basketball to come back. And we seen the Nets. They went out and signed Jamal Crawford and Michael Beasley. And then like 50 minutes later, when they signed Michael Beasley, we heard that he had to sit out for 5 games because he failed a drug test. So he would only play like 3 games until they made it to the playoffs. And then yesterday we heard that he had to leave the bubble because he tested for coronavirus. And like players that get tested for the coronavirus, because the players get tested every day, they don't just leave. So I'm confused why he just left. Like when you get tested out there, you just stay in your room. He left. He straight dipped. So I don't think he's playing no more. So I think like signed him for nothing, and that hurts for him because he was a player that might not get signed, and that's like a little tryout, like to show like, all right, I still got it. Like he's only 33, and like he still has talent, but locker room, he's not really good in the locker room. Like I said, smoking. I know NFL allows it, like NBA doesn't allow it, so like that can be a distraction for teams. But he's not playing no more, so like I don't think he's gonna get signed next year, and that sucks. That sucks for him. That sucks for him because he's a talent that a lot of championship teams can use, like a bucket off the bench and like a good. He's bad in the locker room as far as like coaches can't really tell him what to do. Like he just has that mentality, but he's a decent leader. I would say that he's a decent leader. But alright, so today I'm gonna do a thing where I'm gonna name my MVPs, my defensive player of the year, my rookie of the year, coach of the year. What else is it? Most improved player of the year, best team of the year, most surprising player of the year, not the worst team, but like the team that declined, that went down when they're supposed to be up. Most surprising team, and that's it. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna do 3 for each category except rookie of the year, because like rookie of the year is only 2 that can win the award because like they're just up there, like they're way better than everybody else. So like I didn't feel like I didn't need to do a third person because like, come on, that third person's not gonna win. Like these 2 players, it was one player that played the whole season, and like you could say like yes, he's gonna win it obviously, but the dude that played 18 games, you probably know who I'm talking about. He can go out and be crazy in the playoffs and in the 8 games to where he can easily take off and get rookie of the year. So that's why I put them 2. But we'll get there when we get there. So I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna start with the most surprising player is Luka Doncic. Now, like I said in past videos, this team was not supposed to be in the playoffs. I didn't think Luka was this crazy. Luka's averaging 29, 8 and 9. That's crazy for a sophomore. And basically, to a lot of people and to me, already top 10 player of the year, and he only been in the league. Already top 10 player in the league, and he only been in the league for 2 years. So that's crazy. That's great to say about a player. And like the way he plays this, when the rest of the season goes, the way he plays, I feel like he can lead this team to a championship. But the best thing for them is to avoid playing any LA team in the first round. So they're the 7th seed, and they're only separated by like 2 games from like the Rockets and the Thunder. So they could easily come into the 5th seed where they would have to play the Jazz in the first round instead of the Lakers or the Clippers. So the best thing for them is to go crazy as soon as the NBA comes back, so you can play the Jazz and the Jazz and the Rockets. Because to me, I feel like the Mavericks are better than those teams because like they're better coached, better offense, better defense than those teams. And I don't know. I just feel like they're destined for a run. I feel like they can go crazy in the playoffs, but they just got to get up. They got to get past the 7th seed, because if they're the 7th seed, they're gonna have to play the Clippers, and I don't think they're gonna beat the Clippers. So it would be better for them to play the Clippers like the second round, where let's say the Clippers was to play the Thunder. That would be a hard series for the Clippers. They would win, but that would be a hard series. So like they're already banged up going into the second round. So the Mavericks, they can capitalize off that. So I feel like if he comes back and has a crazy season, he can lead this team to going deep in the playoffs. Because he's been going crazy this year. Almost, if the league didn't end, like I said in the past video, I feel like he would have averaged a triple-double easily. Because he's that impactful. He's been going crazy this year. I love his game. I can't wait till the NBA comes back. He's one of the players that I really want to watch and see like what he was doing during quarantine. Like if he got better, if he added some stuff to his game. But my next little topic is the team of the year, and the team of the year is pretty obvious. The Bucks, I forgot to look up their record, but they have the best record in the league, best player in the league, best defense, best offense in the league. It's not that much to say about them. Like they're the best team in the league. They I know they didn't lose over 9 games, so that's crazy. So they're like 50-something and 9. So that's crazy. And they probably would have lost like 15 games if the season would to play out and they would have played the full 82 games. I feel like they would have went 67 and 15, which is 82. So I just feel like when the NBA comes back, if Giannis can play like Giannis been playing, if Chris Middleton can play like regular season Chris Middleton and not playoff Chris Middleton, because playoff Chris Middleton is so inconsistent, but regular season Chris Middleton is one of the best players in the league. So if he can play like that, if Eric Bledsoe can hit a shot, if Brook Lopez can play like he's been playing this season, and it's been different because last season Brook Lopez was crazy, like 3-point wise he was going crazy, but this year like he's shooting like 29%, so that's bad. But like he said, all right, I can't shoot like that no more. I'm gonna give you elite defense, which Brook Lopez was never known for elite defense. Like he was just that one great post player. But he can still shoot, but now he's giving you elite defense. So if he can play like he's been playing this season, I don't see nobody stopping this team because they're so deep. Dante DiVincenzo, Wesley Matthews, great shooters, great defenders, and they got Ersan Ilyasova, Pat Connaughton, like Grant Hill. The bench is deep. One of the best coaches in the league. So we'll see with this team. I feel like they can go win the finals, but they're gonna have to go through us. Gonna have to go through the Lakers. And I don't think LeBron's going to let that happen. I hope not. But the team with the worst decline to me is the 76ers. Now, with them, reason why I put them here is because I think I said this in the past video, this team is supposed to be a 1 or a 2 seed. But they're a 6 seed. And like you can see like they're struggling. They're bad together. Because in this league, in the NBA, it's all about spacing. Like, you got to be able to shoot a 3. This team doesn't really have that. Yes, they got Tobias Harris. He can shoot. Al Horford, he can shoot. But you don't know them as, like, shooters. Like, you know Tobias Harris is, like, a great mid-range person. You know Al Horford as a person that can shoot, but is normally, like, a back-to-the-body type big man, a great defender. So you don't know them as shooters. And then other than that, they don't really have shooters. Furkan Kuzma, he's okay, but he's not really a great shooter. And Joel Embiid's not a great shooter, even though he shoots 35% from the 3. Like they need shooting for this team. So I think the best shooter they have is Shake Milton, and he shoots like 38. So that's really good. But other than that, they don't have nobody. And like this team needs shooting. Well, every team needs shooting because that's the way the NBA is going now. And it's just this team just looks bad. Like the players they got playing together. You got Josh Richardson. He really can't shoot, but elite defense. Like this whole team, number 1 to number 5, elite defense. Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, Joel Embiid, elite defense. I give them that. But as far as putting points on the board, it's just Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris inconsistent. Yeah, Ben Simmons give you 18 a game, but like I say, he goes crazy when Joel Embiid's not playing, and Joel Embiid goes crazy when Ben Simmons not playing. Like you can see, that's not gonna fit. And everybody talking about because the 76ers coaches say he putting Ben Simmons at the 4. To me, I don't see that going good because he's going to be playing in the paint, and that's been a problem the whole time. Ben Simmons getting in Joel Embiid's way, so I just feel like they need to get split up, and I hope it happens this year. But it's easy to say it might not happen because let's say they lose in the first round, you won't be surprised because they haven't been doing good, and you can easily say, oh, it's because we haven't played basketball in like 5 months because we've been quarantined. So I don't know if this team's going to get split up this year, but I feel like they should. And I hope it happens soon because this team's not a good fit together. And plus, like, they're paying people so much money. Josh Richardson getting paid $12 million. Tobias getting paid $34 million. That's a max contract. Tobias Harris deserves $26 to $27 million, not $34 million. And he deserves $26 million, but not on this team. For this team, he's like $20 million. For another team, like if he was to go back to the Clippers or to the Magic, $27 million, even probably 30. Because like when he's the best, like when he has the ball in his hand most of the time, that's when you see Tobias Harris be Tobias Harris, because that's when he's the most effective. Damn, what the hell? That's when he's the most effective, and that's when he goes crazy. But he cannot play behind Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. But like you see when those two go to the bench, that's when the old Tobias Harris comes out. So I just feel like he just needs to be on a different team. Ben Simmons and Al Horford. I mean Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid can't play together. But I don't know. We'll see with this team. But my most surprising team is the Mavericks. And like I said, I'm not going to speak on this too much because I already basically said it earlier. This team has one of the best offenses ever because of the advanced stats. When you look at the advanced stats, they have one of the best offense ever. And I just feel like this team is destined for a run in the playoffs. They're going to upset somebody. People don't think they're going to beat the Rockets. I'm a firm believer that this team is way better than the Rockets, and they will kill the Rockets because Luka, I don't think people understand how good he actually is. Yes, he's not great on defense, but he's not no slouch. And if he doesn't have defense, you still got Seth Curry, Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Kristaps Porzingis, like great defender, good defender. So like he doesn't really have to be that good. Like he can let somebody go past him because when he goes past him, you're gonna have Maxi Kleber and Kristaps Porzingis right there. So it's hard. It's gonna be hard for them to score. But I just feel like this team's gonna go for a desperate run because they're so deep. And coach is great, best player is great, second best player is great. Like this team can go for a run, and I hope they do. But if the Lakers don't come out the West, I hope they go out the West because I just feel like they would be so great in the finals. I would love that finals matchup. But now I'm going to the coach of the year. Hold on, let me fix my line. Not that little light. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the coach of the year. So my third coach of the year, I'm going to go from the bottom up. So my third coach of the year is Frank Vogel. Now, he was like destined to be one of the candidates for the coaches of the year because like I said in the past video, the Lakers had one of the worst records last year, and now we're second in the league. So he got us like way better. And you can say, oh, it's because we got Anthony Davis and LeBron, but like a coach has to put a system around to make players and make the team good, which he's doing. He got everybody playing amazing defense. LeBron is playing elite defense. LeBron hasn't played elite defense since freaking 2013 when he should have won the Defensive Player of the Year. But LeBron is playing elite defense now, and that's most of the reason to Frank Vogel, but like some of the reasons to Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis challenged him to make an all-defensive team with Anthony Davis. He wanted LeBron and himself to be on an all-defensive team. Now that won't happen because like other than Anthony Davis, a lot of wings have been going crazy as far as defense. But LeBron should be in conversation because LeBron has been playing elite defense, and we haven't seen it from him so long. And this coach is a defensive coach and that our whole system is just based on defense. Now we got some offense, but like offense runs through LeBron, and so that's set. Now this coach is really only brought in here to fix our defense because last year our defense was not that good, but now we're good. And like the rotations he be throwing out there, he knows his rotations. I love a coach that throws out the best rotations, even if one of the worst players on your team is in a rotation. Like our last coach wasn't giving Alex Caruso a chance, and now Alex Caruso is one of our best players. So he uses his rotation so well. But my next coach is Taylor Jenkins. Now I know you guys don't know what that is, and I didn't know who that is till this year. But he coaches the Memphis Grizzlies. Now basically the only reason why I put him up here is they're the 8th seed. They're not even supposed to be. They're supposed to be the last seed in the West. Like when you look at this team, you don't see this team being where they are. Now they have a lot of talent, but the talent is young, and it's hard to like make young talent win games in the NBA. In this league, basically, it's hard to win. But he got this team as an 8th seed, and mind you, they're not locked to go to the playoffs. Like they're still fighting. When these 8 games come, they're still going to be fighting. Like they're going to at least have to win 6 to be locked. Mind you, they have the hardest schedule though. So that's going to be hard for them, especially when the team that's right behind them, the Pelicans, have the easiest schedule. So we'll see. But he's a great coach. He has his team playing fast, in which they need to play because they're all young. You got John Morant at the point guard. He's a fast up and down point guard. You got Jaren Jackson. He likes to run the floor. So I just like the way he runs his team. He lets his young talent grow. He's not going to start Jaren Jackson. No, he's not going to start Jay Crowder over Dylan Brooks because Dylan Brooks is younger. Jay Crowder is a veteran, over 30 years old. Dylan Brooks is 24. So you got to let the young talent grow, and he understands that, and that's why this team is one of the best up and coming teams in the league because this coach he put the right system in front of the players for them to be successful. And now they're the 8th seed fighting for a playoff spot. So I had to put him in here. But my number one, who I think is one coach of the year, is Nick Nurse for the Raptors. Now I say that because when I looked into the season, like in the beginning of the season, I didn't think this team was going to make the playoffs. Well, I was wrong. They're a 2 seed. And yes, you could say it's because of the growth from Pascal Siakam, but the way Nick Nurse just takes random players and just make them quality role players is crazy. Let me give you an example. Terrence Davis. Nobody knows who that is. Before this season, people know him now, but like before the season, nobody knew who that is. God dang, nobody knew who that is. Now he's playing quality minutes. He came from Ole Miss. I know who he is. He came from Ole Miss. He used to play football. Very athletic. But now he's a quality player for this team. I didn't know who he was before I watched one of their first games. Because I seen him in one game. I was like, bro, he has a nice-ass jump shot. Like, his jump shot is nice. But I didn't, really study into him. But, throughout the season, you see him playing as one of the best bench players in this league, and you just pay attention, bro. When you look at it, Nick Nurse does this with everybody. You find nobody really knows who Norman Powell is, but he's averaging 16 points. Nobody knew that. He should be in consideration for most improved. Matt Thomas, great shooter. Nobody knew who that is. He went undrafted. But now, Nick Nurse made him one of the best shooters on this team. Chris Boucher, nobody knew who that is. He went from G League team to G League team. Now he's playing big minutes. And mind you, that's because Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka was out most of the year. But he's playing big minutes, and he's doing great at it. Rim protector, can shoot. So it spreads the floor. He's great at his position. He's great in this system because Nick Nurse knows where to put him at. He knows when to put him in. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson started off the season horrible. Nick Nurse threw out this little subliminal line. He said, well, we got some of these players that's just not playing. Some of the players that we signed this year, they're not playing good at all. They're going to have to earn minutes. The next game, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson drops 25. I'm not saying that's Nick Nurse's fault, but that subliminal message could have made him be all right, now I got to go crazy. So I'm just saying, like he just does this with role players, and like now he gets them to the point where like, all right, I can trust you playing 2 minutes left when we're down by 10. I can trust you playing that. Well, not down by 10. Let's say down by 5. Like I can trust you playing in a close game when it comes down to it. And he just does this with everybody. He lets everybody grow. He puts them in that position to grow, and it's just crazy. But you're probably wondering why I didn't have Mike Budenholzer for the Bucks. And like I said, they are the best team. But like he won last year. Yes, he should be in the running for it. But I just feel like these coaches, their teams, well, other than the Lakers, but the top two, their teams is not supposed to be where they at when you looked into it. But like the amazing coaching they're doing, like that's where they at. And the Lakers, like we finished like 26 and like 50 something last year, and now we're 50 and 20 something. So like I had to give it to the Lakers coach. That's not biased at all. But next is my rookie of the year. My number 2 rookie of the year is Zion, and like I was saying back, he could win this award, but mind you, he only played 18 games, so I'm not gonna give it to him. Or the player above him played most of the season, and he only played a fraction, like a quarter of it. So I'm not gonna give him the rookie of the year, but like I said, he can definitely get it. And like I said, this team has the easiest schedule, so he's going to be playing more games if they go to the playoffs, so he could definitely take it. But he's averaging 23.6, 6 rebounds, two assists, so he's just going crazy. That's great. That's great numbers for a rookie. And just the way he plays, so explosive, hops crazy, second bounce crazy, elite in the post, like. There's not too many players that can guard him, other than Maxi Kleber. If you know, you know. 6 blocks on Zion. That's crazy. But, yeah, Zion is a crazy player. Going to be one of the best players in the league someday. But, like, right now I can't give it to him as a rookie of the year. But he's had a great season. The games he played, I don't think he ever had a game where he scored less than 20. So, really averages 20 a game. Straight into the league. Come on, averages 20 a game. That's crazy for a rookie. But, like I said, he might get rookie of the year. But, number 1, John Morant. It's just, like I said about Taylor Jenkins, this team's not supposed to be here. And the main part of that is Taylor Jenkins and John Morant just leading this team. Both of them lead the team, the coach and the best player on the team. I wasn't really high on John Morant coming out of the draft. And that's because my favorite point guard in the draft was Darius Garland, but John Morant is way better than him. No offense. If you ever see this, come on, man. You had a terrible season. But John Morant had a great season. 17, 3.5, 6 assists. So he's already became a great playmaker. And in college, he was known to be kind of selfish. Like, he always wanted to take that last shot. But, like, you can see this year, he let He let Jay Crowder take the last shot again in the game against the Nets, and they won that game. But I didn't really see him as a playmaker in college, but now like he's a great playmaker, decent defender, great leader at a young age, and like he's one of the main reasons why this team is where they at, why they're the eighth seed. So I can't wait to see what they do in the playoff. Well, if they make the playoffs, I can't wait to see what they do when the season comes back, because like I said, they have the hardest schedule. So I think they got to play the Bucks, Clippers twice. And the Lakers. So that's the 3 best teams in the league against this young team. So we'll see what they do, man. Hopefully they can make it. But now I'm going to the most improved player. And my number 3 is Pascal Siakam. Now, coming into the season, like I said, I didn't think he could be a number 1 option. And like I said, I was wrong. Went from averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, to averaging 23.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists. And he's the number 1 option, stepped up as the number 1 option. Now, his field goal percentage went down, but like I said with Brandon Ingram, well, I'm going to talk about later, when you get more shots and when you're the main option, the main scoring option on your team, your percentage is going to go down because you're getting more shots. It goes from last year he getting 10 shots, so now you're getting 20 shots. You're going to miss, not most of them shots, but you're going to miss a lot of those shots. So that's the reason why his percentage went down. But like, he's still doing great. He's still a great number one option for this team, and he's showing that he can be a number one option on a championship level team, because this team can win a championship. And that's crazy to say, because when Kawhi left, people just wrote them off, and I'm one of those people. And I said, like, oh, they probably won't even make the playoffs, but now they're number 2, and they're still a championship contender. And he's one of the main reasons. Elite defender, can guard 1 through 5, and if they go back to back, we got to look at Pascal Siakam different, because he might be a top 15 player, because what he's doing is he's getting better each year. 2 years ago, averaging 4 points. Now, last year, 16 points. Now, 23. Like, that's big jumps. That is big jumps in 3 years. And to now being a top player on a championship level team, if they win the season, we got to look at him different. Like, he might be better than a lot of these young players that we're putting over him. But we'll see with that. But my second most improved player of the year, this shows you that I'm not biased, is Brandon Ingram. Now, I'm not really going to name his stats because I named him in the past episode, but like, he got up in scoring, and he got up in defense, rebounding, assists. He's showing that he can be a playmaker along with being a primary scorer, a reliable closer, and stepped up in shooting. Like, he was shooting 33% from 3 last year, and most of the season he was shooting 40%, but it went down towards the end of the season earlier. Now he's shooting 38% from 3. This from 3, so he's showing like amazing improvement, and it's going to be cool to see if him and Zion can just lead this team into the playoffs. And that would be a great first round matchup if the Lakers can go against the Pelicans. That's going to pull the NBA a lot of views. That's what they want. That's what they want, actually, because I seen a report that said the Lakers want Zion to play LeBron. They want Zion to play with LeBron, because it's like that the rookie, the up and coming rookie that could be a future LeBron. They want to see that GOAT versus one of the best rookies. So that's what they want to see, and that's what we might get, because they have the easiest schedule coming back. But most improved player to me this year, Bam Adebayo. Like I said in the past episode, he is one jump shot away from being one of the best players in this league. And last year, he was not that good, and that's because you're playing behind Hassan Whiteside, and that's a starting center. So Bam was coming off the bench, giving you 8 and 7, but now he's giving you 16 and 10, 5 assists. He only gave you 2 assists last season. Now he's shooting 56% from the field, 1 steal, 1 block a game. So elite defense. Like, we really didn't see that last season, because he was playing behind another elite defender in Hassan Whiteside. So we didn't see that much. But like I said, he stepped up in all categories and just turned into an elite defender this season. Great playmaker, but if Bam gets a jump shot, it's over. If he gets a jump shot, it's over. Because like, he already showed that he can lock up your favorite players. Like, he already showed he can lock up Giannis. He locked up Giannis. And if he gets that shot, he'll be unstoppable. But that's my most improved player of the year. And now I'm going to hop into my defense player of the year. So my third, I wanted to show love to a guard, because my people over him are forwards. So I want to say Marcus Smart. And this was hard, because like, a lot of players, it's like 10 players that can get defensive player of the year. It's a lot of players that can get it. But I had to put him in here as an honorable mention. Well, basically third. He's my third, but he's basically an honorable mention like the next player is for the number 1. But he can guard 1 through 4, averages 1.6 steals, 5.5 blocks a game, and that's not a lot, but like, you see with him, like, it's the effort. His defense can get taught, but the effort needs to be there for it to get taught, and he gives the most effort on defense. That's why he's so hard to score on, because he's always there. He's so pesky, so touchy, and like all in your face type of guy, which is great for that team. He's probably the best perimeter defender in this league, and it'd be times where they would run out freaking Kemba Walker, Brad Wanamaker, 2 guards, and put Marcus Smart at the 3, and he's only 6'3", And the three, that's like players that's like 6'8", 6'9". But the way he plays defense, like you could put him on Kawhi or LeBron, you won't be worried because his Marcus Smart. He's been this player. He's been this best defender in the league for a couple years. But like this year, he just stepped it up, got smarter. Cause usually, like back in like 2 years ago, like last year, he'll get in foul trouble. But like this year is not like that. Like you just see like he wants to win. He's one of those great leaders that wants to win. And not only did he up his game on defense, but he upped it on offense too. So I just had to show love to Marcus Smart. But my number 2 is Anthony Davis. So he's a guy that I really didn't know that he can guard 125. And if Anthony Davis wanted to, Anthony Davis can play the point guard position. That's so crazy to say about a person that's 7'1". But on defense, he give you 1.5 steals, 2.4 blocks. And his defensive impact made LeBron step up. So I had to give it to him because LeBron never really played with a great defender. Now, D-Wade was a good defender. He was good. He was decent. But, like, Anthony Davis is elite. One of the best defenders of all time. So it's crazy to see that his impact is making everybody step up. Making LeBron step up. JaVale McGee step up. This Anthony Davis defensive anchor, and him being an anchor and him being there for the impact, it just make everybody get better on defense. So I had to put him up there. But my number 1 is Giannis. 1 block, 1 steal a game, can guard 125, elite shot blocker, elite perimeter defender, elite on-ball defender, on and off-ball defender, elite on help defense. He's just elite all across the board. Giannis is, if he gets a jump shot and if he gets a championship, he could challenge Jordan for being one of the best players of all time because he's already top 30 and he's only 24, already top 30. Already got an MVP. Already led his team to two best records in the league 2 years in a row. He just needs to get that championship. And if he gets a championship, he really doesn't need a jump shot because he showed it can work without getting a jump shot. But into my MVP, my number 3 is Luka. Now, Luka probably will be over LeBron, but Luka got hurt two times this year where he twisted his ankle. And that kept him out for a long time. Like it was like each time was like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. So he missed in 2 weeks. You can miss like 15 games. So let's say he missed like 15 to 20 games this season. But when he's playing, he's one of the best players in this league. Like I said, 28, 9, and 8, 46 from the field, 31 for 3, and the 3-point percentage needs to go up. Like he could shoot. But some of his shots be bad shots. I ain't gonna lie, some of his shots be bad shots. It be shots where like, all right, he's in a groove, which is not probably a bad shot. Like when he makes 2 in a row and like the crowd all behind you, like you're gonna be like, all right, I got to take another one. But some of the shots just be like early shot clock shots. I'm like, Luka, chill out. I understand you're going crazy, but chill out. But he has his team in the playoffs. A lot of people didn't see this team going to the playoffs. If they did, they want to sneak into the 8th seed, but this team can be a 5th seed in the playoffs. And he just showed up this season. And he's not one of those young players that like don't step up when they're playing against big teams. Luka steps up when he plays against Giannis, when he plays against Kawhi, LeBron. He had a game where he had a 40-point triple-double. And guess who else had a triple-double? LeBron. Like they were going head-to-head. That was probably the best game of the season. And they probably would have won that game if Dwight Howard didn't cheat. Nobody's seen it. But this is how it went. What's his name? Danny Green. He went to the 3. Danny Green on the Lakers. He was running to the 3. And Seth Curry was about to go stick up on him, but Dwight Howard held Seth Curry, and nobody called the foul. He was just holding him, and it was so blatant, but nobody called the foul. And Danny Green made a 3 because he was basically wide open, and he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. So they won that game, but like Luka was going head-to-head with LeBron, and it was something great to see. But speaking of LeBron, LeBron's my second MVP. I couldn't put LeBron over Giannis because Giannis is the best player on the best team. And, bro, I'll get to Giannis later. But LeBron, like I said in the past, giving you 25, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 50 from the field. So he's playing very efficient this season, which is something good to see. 34 from 3. Shooting, probably the best shooting year for LeBron in his career. I can trust LeBron with the ball in his hands when the shot clock is going off. and it's 20 seconds left in the game, and you gotta win the game. You're down by 2. I can trust LeBron to hit that 3, or if you're down by 1, I can trust LeBron to hit that 2. He showed that he's actually a clutch player this year, so I trust him. Leads the league in assists, stepped up, and just everything. He showed to me that this year he's the best player in the league. I used to always think KD was the best player in the league, but LeBron is a better defender than KD. He showed me that this season. And his offensive impact, even though KD is probably the best offensive scorer, LeBron is one of the best offensive scorers, but also one of the best playmakers of all time. And the best leader of all time. So his impact is so great. But Giannis is my number 1 MVP. Deserves it. Improved on everything. Everything. He could have been the most improved player of the league. But I think he already got that. And after he got that 2 years ago, he got the MVP last year. And now he's about to get another one. And he just improved on a lot. Shooting, playmaking. And the crazy part is, people don't realize, Giannis, basically every game, he only plays 3 quarters. Because they're blowing teams out every game. And they did that last year. And basically, Giannis went to the playoffs with fresh legs because he only plays 3 quarters a game because they're blowing everybody out. And it's crazy to see. But he only plays 3 games. And, like, out of all NBA stars, it's a stat called your usage rate. And that shows, like, who, like, the NBA, and that shows, like, your team, like, how much are they using you? Like, does the whole team run through you? And basically for the Bucks, that's what it is. Like, Giannis leads the league in usage rate, which is 37.4. So that's high. And, like, basically you can see, like, when this team doesn't have Giannis, they're still great. They're still good. But when they have Giannis, they're one of the best teams of all time. Because, like, he just, that on offense and defense. One of the best offensive players of all time. One of the best defensive players of all time. So with him, I just think he's automatically a lock for MVP. And the crazy thing is, if he has a chance to get MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP of the Year, and get a championship. So that's four trophies that he can hold up this season, which is crazy. And that would be the best season of all time from a player. So that would be great to see. And I hope they don't beat the Lakers, but if they beat the Lakers, I wouldn't be sad about it because I like Giannis. Like, he's one of my favorite players of all time. I like Giannis because I like the hard work. Like, he reminds me of Kobe. One of those players that you just see in the gym all day. Like, when Giannis came in the league, he was a questionable pick. He was a lottery pick. A questionable pick. He was a skinny little 3, but he had the wingspan still. And, like, he was decent at shooting. Like, he could actually shoot. Fast forward 3 years later, dude's all buff, big, and, like, can't shoot no more, but everything else, he can strap you up, he can score on you, body you, like, just stay in the gym. One of the players that stay in the gym and doesn't really care about the outside world. But now we're seeing, like, the personality of Giannis. Like, it's so cool because when they're in quarantine, when they was in quarantine for 5 months, like, he was on TikTok, on Instagram Live more, showing videos of him and his son. Like, you just see, like, he's a crazy cool guy off the court, but, like, on the court is a person you don't want to see because he will bully you on the court. And that's, like, it's crazy to say. Like, he's a bully on the court, amazing fun guy off the court, and, like, so big. Like, he's so scary, bro. He's so scary. I seen a video of him bodying Ben Simmons and then turning around, dabbing everybody up. He was like, yo, he's a fucking baby. I was like, bro, Ben Simmons is 6'10" and stocky just like Giannis, but Giannis was killing him. Giannis had 52 that game against the 76ers, who have the perfect team to stop Giannis because they're so big in every position. Almost every position can guard Giannis, but none of them can guard them that game. He had 52, but the crazy thing is they lost because Joel Embiid had 35. But like I said, man, Giannis has a chance to have one of the best seasons of all time. And to be honest, that's really it, man. So hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Subscribe, press the bell next to the subscribe button, and share it. Share it with your friends and everything. But that's it for me. I'm out.